Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording session of Hearthstone. That's right, I said recording session, not episode. I am still slightly sick, but I feel a lot better today, and I don't see any reason to drag this out. Now, last time we did do the arena run, so don't have enough gold really to do another arena run. But I'm gonna do 3 episodes today, or at least try to, and hopefully get all 3 of these quests done. We would have destroyed 40 minions probably either way, even though there's 30 done already. Today we'll do Druid and Rogue. 245. Let's see. Let's go ahead and buy another arena entry, and then hopefully at the end of today we will be back to 245, but we may not be because the numbers are a little off. So Druid and Rogue ranked runs. It's a little weird they're coming out with a new card back for every month, I think, because that's a lot of card backs. So it's having an artist work on one picture probably only takes them a small amount of time, I would say. Is how detailed they wanted to be out. Because they could quick sketch it and have it finalized in probably a day if they don't. What? What's going on with that one? I was having a network problem. I saw 2 solutions, which I thought had fixed it. Now I'm starting to question that. Smart me would have restarted the recording then. So Druid and Rogue is what we're doing. I also have Minecraft running in the background. That probably is a bit of a mistake. Still working on it. Servers having just a lot of trouble smoothing out the area. There's a lot of flowing water that's that has to, whenever water is still in Minecraft, it is fine. It's treated like a block, and so it takes very little resources at all to render and put that in its proper place. But when it's flowing, it treats it more like a creature that's wandering around and has all kinds of extra AI attributed to it. And there's just, as I'm clearing out an area for Skyblock, it made just tons and tons of flowing areas. So it's basically a lag machine is what it's created. Just creating lag of, it's like, well, this flowing water is only this high because the flowing water next to it is this high, but that flowing water is only this high because the one next to it is this high, and so I have to find like the highest point and get rid of the highest point. And once I get rid of the highest point, then the 1,000 other items of flowing water then turn around and want to go down. So then they all recalculate. That's thousands of calculations to go down one block, and then they do it again. So that's another 1,000 calculations, and then they do it again, 1,000 calculations. And so they started somewhere around 60 blocks because that's about surface level in a usual world. So you're talking 60,000 combinations for this flowing water just to tell it you're supposed to go down and go away.
Job's done.
I've been able to attribute massive amounts of RAM to the server, which does help, but it doesn't seem to nothing seems to be the 100% solution until I can just get the area completely empty. Now, I fully expect once the area is completely empty, then all these problems will go away. Hey, I do not expect it for there to still be lag once all the flowing water and stuff goes away. But I also have the view distance set too low at the moment. I can already tell because it wants to.
What to do? For the wilds.
So yeah, it's unloading chunks that still need to be processed. If only I had I guess I could try and keep the chunks loaded. I could set up a bunch of hoppers, and hoppers tend to keep chunks loaded. But I don't particularly enjoy that thought. That would just be putting even more junk in the area where I don't want anything.
Job done.
I wish there was a setting on the server that worked. I mean, I could just set the view distance to 15. But 1.8.1 of Minecraft has already changed a lot of. It was supposed to just be the graphical way it looked when it would save RAM by not drawing the stuff that was behind you, basically. But I think that might have affected whether the stuff behind you is actually loaded anymore on the server. I'm not sure.
Give me a quest.
It seems like I get more chunks visible. And there's a whole mess there because you have a max chunks of 32 on the client, but the max chunks on the server is 15. Guess I could go set it for 32 and see what happens. I mean, might as well. Go let them experiment. Name changes are out, so no longer am I always set. Am I required to use the name of the person who gave me the account, which is great news. So it also means everybody can go change their name. It seems like they haven't implemented it great, though. They still, for customer service reasons, want you to be able to go to Mojang and say, this player by this name did this, and complain, and then be able to find that person. And because they want to do that, even though they seem to have implemented a system where people could have the same name, they don't allow the same name.
You to master. Job's done.
So it's a little silly because they've given every player a unique identifier that now, because I was looking in the logs of my server and it said this player, it said Rydo of all logged in, then formerly known as the old name. And then it said unique identifier is this. So they've got everything, it seems, set up where tons of people could be play as those more common gamer names that lots of people play as, and then they often have to go get a number added at the end of it because somebody else beat them to it. Names like Cool Guy, Ace, Winner, things like that. Things that unimaginative young kids would think of. Pokemon names, probably, I bet. A lot of people would want to play as Ash Ketchum. Stuff like that. Yeah, I've done a lot of work on the Minecraft, and really wouldn't have done any of it if I hadn't gotten sick. I mean, I'm a little behind on recording other series.
I must protect the world.
But then, also I released a 4th series in the middle of all that too. So, there's been some craziness on my part of just trying something new, experimenting with getting a brand new game out as fast as possible.
Job's done.
And I was able to churn that out in just a few days. Have beginning to end. Beginning to 100%. Now, that's certainly not mean that I was the fastest and first person out with videos like that. Because there were people that I'm sure got it day one, the second it was available. I'm sure there were people that somehow was able to get it before it was released. There was still walkthroughs and help available while I was playing, which was needed really. There was some puzzles, some stuff that would have been a lot more frustrating had I not been given exact directions. One puzzle in particular seems like if I had stumbled upon it, would have been really, really hard to figure out. And some people make games obtuse like that in the hope of making it a longer game than it really will be.
Here we go.
Job's done.
That was probably a waste, but
Job's done.
particularly behind on the Binding of Isaac. Sorry for being quiet. I'm just Still a little sick. I'm particularly behind on the Binding of Isaac recordings. It's what it is when I upload, I try to upload everything in orders of 3. So one of Isaac, one of FTL, one of Hearthstone. And if right now I don't have any Isaacs to upload. Let's see.
Stellan, now you feel pain.
Here we go.
I think I might be able to pull this one off. Because I'll summon this guy next turn, play this, do 2 damage to this guy to get even more. Not even bother to attack with this yet, because next turn I want to summon this guy and give it 1 more. So we're gonna attack
Here
this guy at the
we go.
face. And then our mana.
They all bend to my command.
Then do 2 to this guy.
You die now.
Job's done.
So next turn with 9 I can play all these cards pretty much. Give our attack weapon +1. Play this. Play this. Play this. And alright, we're good. So
You die now.
kill this guy here and here and
Here we
attack
go.
with this.
Job's done.
And he's down to 1. I have a hard time believing he's gonna be able to come back from this. If he kills my zombie child, maybe. Maybe I shouldn't have summoned the zombie child. I really shouldn't have. Oh, this is what a wisp is. So summon 5 of those wouldn't really help.
I can see.
Finally we get a victory. We were trying to get like 245. At the end of today, I believe. Yeah, so I keep trying to get to. They announced that the next update for Isaac is going to have 100 more items, which will be cool.
Watch your back.
I must protect the wild.
I guess I'm alright with 100 more items as the next thing. They need to. What I'd really like in Isaac is just some improvements in its interface. More items, yes, is good, but there's still some items I haven't unlocked, and some items that have requirements to unlock that are beyond me.
Job's done.
There's a character I haven't unlocked that's probably beyond me. So going further and making more levels and making them do more things is only gonna probably add an element that's for the better players better than me. I would think I'd rather have like a 7-character run speedrun options. I would rather have maybe some more challenges. I'd rather there be, what I'd really like is just let the donation chest be a second avenue to unlock some items, or let there be a second avenue to unlock some items, because some of the items have like only one way to unlock them, and if you can't do that one way, then you're just stuck. You plateau in the game and you can't go any further. Can they make another character? I don't know if they could really think of yet another character that would be really that useful. Hopefully all the 100 new items are new and wild and crazy. If they can think of a whole new system, like the cards and the pills are systems, and the crystals are a new system. If they could think of something new for that, that'd be great.
Job done.
I still think at some point they should consider splitting the code and releasing pretty much the exact same game, just porting it over to a different theme, like a kids version where it's not talking about the Binding of Isaac story, and it's not making religious references and preferences and everything else. If they could figure out a way to convert everything they've done into something that is not intentionally being offensive as it is, I think they could get a whole nother audience. Although, maybe they couldn't, because then the whole other audience might wise up of its origins, and if it just shun it for that reason.
For the wild.
If you were gonna make let's say you made a Mario game, it works a lot better if you took a Mario game and if you wanted to make it like a mature thing. Now this is probably not an accurate comparison, but there are a lot of similarities, not a ton, but a lot of similarities in what Grand Theft Auto and Super Mario 64 are. In the simple sense that they're both 3D worlds where you walk around trying to accomplish a goal. So, if you were to make Mario 64, and instead of having him run around jumping, getting mushrooms, and stomping on people's heads, which the cartoon was wrong, you instead had him running around, shooting, and carjacking, and everything. You could certainly make a mod in GTA to do that. I'm sure there probably already one that exists. And so, what's my point in any of that? Is just that I think going from the beloved child region and risking your brand, which that would be a major risk, and you probably would never want to do that to an adult brand, is a lot smarter and easier than it would be to have an adult brand and try and make it a kid's version. It could be, you basically have to start over and say from the creators of this.
snake. It has snake.
Yeah, it would be pretty risky both ways. And I think there was a slight transition when you have like Metroid and Metroid Prime. There's a slight maturation there, because Metroid Prime certainly felt like it was a more adultish thing, but it's still not wasn't super violent, except for Metroids and creatures. That they still, I guess, didn't have you killing people. If they went that step, then that's probably when it would have been of trouble. They did do it with Conker, but that was basically they didn't. They were, I think, under contract. Rare was. They were under contract to make one more game for Nintendo, and they didn't really want to do it. And so instead of having this Conker guy who was supposed to be was a child-friendly, great game, they came out with this super immature but in mature fashion game called Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is still highly regarded as one of the oddest and pretty bad games. Well, you're literally fighting a giant opera singing ball of poo at one point. And that is really, I would say, the pinnacle of examples of taking what was kids' games mechanics and for what can only be called an insane reason, turning it around and making it mature. And I think the transition probably worked a little bit better than if Conker started off as Conker's Bad Fur Day and then they tried to make some of the previous Conker's game. And either way you spin that thought, this Conker is certainly never going to have another game in their life. I believe Nintendo got the rights to them and just letting it die. But I do believe there is a dual joystick shooter in the grasp. They can make a dual joystick shooter and probably split the team, not even split the team really, just put one person in charge of taking everything that all the effort is being made to run in Binding of Isaac, and then saying, you're gonna make this second thing, and everything we make, we're gonna have you try and convert that over, because most of the items wouldn't require that much to change. Most of the it would be pretty simple to just take like the D6 or the dice things. You don't have to really change them much, just leave them as dice. Change the flies and the parrots and the spiders and the puppies, and you've probably fixed a lot of the problems on that.
Here we go.
Let's just start thinking about items. Just how you, all the pills just don't need to be pills, and that's all you have to do is give them different different things. And you probably would want to make it an easier game anyway, so start off by having it by having them say health up or health down straight off. All the cards just don't have to be cards, and that's all you will have to change for them. You'd have to figure out, like, black creep is oil, so all you'd have to do is say oil spell for any item that spills oil. Well, water creep is, the holy water is just water. And then yellow creep is just acid, so.
My shield for Argus!
Alright. Most of the companions would work fine. Red creep could just be acid. I don't think there's any real difference between the red and the yellow creep. Maybe the amount of damage people get. Rocks can stay rocks. The poop items could be rocks. That would simplify the game probably a lot. Slot machines, maybe you have to get rid of slot machines, maybe you don't. Alright.
Come close and listen.
Into the breach!
See, what does this cost 4? Why is it costing 2 more, I wonder? I think that's probably a spell or something. I don't know why it would cost 4. I just need a card so I can combo this. But I guess I won't even bother. Finally.
You shall not pass.
Alright. So I was going to bring this one out, but it doesn't matter anymore. You would need to certainly find a boss like Mom's Foot. Probably have to redo all the bosses because I don't know how you could just reskin all the bosses. This is the last game of the episode. You could, in the whole brimstone laser beam thought and lasers and all that. It would take a lot of work. It would take a very creative person or a creative team of people to do it. But I think they could do it. Reach a new audience. Well, they could just start from scratch and like have that be the place you put all the ideas that you think are not a good fit with Isaac, because there are two things. Dual joystick probably doesn't super appeal to young people anyways. I guess maybe there is no market there if I think about it.
Job's done.
But let's talk about maybe making a kid's version of FTL. FTL, on the other hand, exactly the right kind of game that I think would be, and now that I've thought about it, if they just made an easier, simpler version that kids wouldn't get their butts handed to them every time they played. If it was a you're almost guaranteed to win no matter what you do type game, which is really what the easy mode should be. Maybe they should just come out with a very easy mode, and you just can't lose, impossible to die mode on FTL. There's some things there where that would be cool. And if they thought about making a kids version of it, they could probably add a lot of elements to improve it. Put some more mini games in it, where it's like push these buttons to target and break up the action, because there is a lot of slow action. Now the advanced edition of FTL did speed everything up, but it's still kind of disjointed system. Maybe if they made it turn based, that'd probably help a lot. If they just made it in a way so that there would be like one turn, and each weapon fired in one turn or 2 turns or 3 turns, and so you could just do all of your actions, then end your turn, and then the enemy would do all their actions and end their turn. That might allow people to take as much time without having to pause it. It's basically what you're doing anyways when you're pausing, is you're just pausing it, doing everything you want to do, then unpausing it, and then they do something. In fact, FTL I could see could be a great board game or card game in that fashion because of that. Let's see. Is this beast good?
Snakes. It has to be snakes.
And the kids' version of Hearthstone. Well, Hearthstone's gotta stay online. It's gotta stay the same program. But it would not hurt me one bit if they came out with a kids' league. It didn't really change the game much, because you really don't need to change the game. Either people are going to be cool with the World of Warcraft imagery and all that stuff, or they're not. And if they're not, you're going to lose them no matter what. So, but it wouldn't hurt me one bit if they came out with a kids league and let the kids play on that. And then you just have to I don't know how you'd verify an age of a kid in America. It's so strange. They probably shouldn't just...
Where shall I strike?
They probably shouldn't even bother calling it a kids league. They should just call it a easy league, rookie league. and then that's really probably what should be. It should be like Rookie League, Pro League, and then push people to play in the Pro League. Give slightly better gold, maybe. It would be a great opportunity for them to say you get 30 gold for every 3 wins. Why do I even have this card in my deck? I guess I've forgotten to get rid of this card.
Feel a little tingle.
For the wild. Job done.
Honestly though, as soon as a kid can read pretty well and understand how the game works, so what would that be? 6, 7, 8 would be about my guess. I think you'd probably be fine playing Hearthstone. There's not any great violence. You're almost completely safe against. There's no vid cams. There's no way to chat. So whoever he's playing against can't really do anything. They can send friend requests, and as long as you install on them not to accept friend requests, you're fine. If they do accept friend requests now, they can start chatting to you. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but yeah, I don't have anybody on my friends list because I don't want their name showing up during the game. All of that. So yeah, we got 2 done. We're gonna have 225 by the time we're done with it. And what I'm gonna do next turn is we'll just play as the mage for 5 games and try and get the spells done, and that'll be the done. So this will be a recording series, but I don't think I'm gonna do a 3rd episode. Still a little under the weather, still a little busy. I could be recording other things anyways. So that's it for this episode. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos because all that stuff helps me out. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I am at RydoOfall, RYDOOFALL. Try to subscribe, try to follow me on Twitter. I am getting people that are watching, but I have not gotten anybody that is consistently watching. And that's a little bothersome. People coming in on the 12th episode, watching the 12th episode, maybe all the way to the end, but then they don't see the 13th episode, or they don't watch the 13th episode, and I'm probably not doing it right, is my guess. I think I'm doing something wrong. Anyways, I'll try and figure out what I'm doing wrong, but for you, just have a good evening.